K.
Hello everyone and welcome back to Wednesday Walk. You are here with your girl Lady K. I am so excited that you have come back and you're with me. We're doing things a little bit different in this second season. I'm so excited. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I have so much to cover, and oh my gosh, as you saw in the caption, guys, COVID almost got me. But before I get into it, you know, when you're going through stuff, there's always something like a little like a transition before you get to that place. So even though COVID almost got me, let me tell you the good news. What happened, you know, and they always say there's a lot of things that's going to happen to you in life, and 10% is what happens to you, but 90% is how you responded. I'm going to tell you how I responded because everything was going so great. First of all, guys, I want to welcome you to my back office of my actual office. This is what it looks like. It's so beautiful. Y'all guys know I love water, so I had to come sit by the water. But let me tell you something. The day I signed my lease here, and it was back earlier this year, I signed my lease, right? I was so excited to move into my new space. And at that time, my grandmother was alive, and my grandma was very sick, and she was sick with Parkinson's disease. And I was helping my mom take care of her. So I was between my house and, you know, my mom's house. And of course, you guys, with you beautiful people sitting with you on the Lady K Chat podcast. You know, we always go through some stuff. You just never know what people go through. You always got to be kind. That's why we have to be kind to one another, right? So I signed my lease that day. I went to my mom's house afterwards. The nurse was there evaluating my grandmother, and she says, your grandma has less than 2 weeks to live. And it really hit me because I was like, wow, this is my rock. My rock is leaving. Like, I prepared myself. I knew, but when you get news like that, you can never be prepared too much. So long story short, my grandmother died 2 days later. And one of my biggest things that I did not want to happen was I did not want to contract COVID and give it to her. That was one of my biggest things. So people, they barely saw me last year. We did everything through Zoom. Thank God for Zoom. I love Zoom. Okay, thank you, Zoom. Shout out to Zoom. And you know, everything was all virtual. And you know, limited. You know, you go out to the store, you get your groceries, you come back in, and that was pretty much my whole ordeal. Go to the store, come back home, take care of my family and my kids. So when my grandmother passed away, God bless her. So a week and a half later, I got hit with COVID. Now at first, I didn't even know it was COVID. I was having mild symptoms. Like, I just thought it was a cold. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna get through this. What the kicker was? Let me tell you what the kicker was. I lost my sense of smell and taste. That's how I knew to go get tested. So I got tested, and like I said, I was feeling a little achy, a little cold, but I'm thinking, oh, I'm okay. A week later, I am now inpatient in the hospital. Let me tell you, before I got to the hospital, guys, I was so sick. I could not breathe because what it did, it irritated the asthma. Notice how I said the asthma, not my asthma, because I'm not claiming it. Okay, so it attacked the asthma. Couldn't breathe. I had to have my oldest son call the ambulance. They transported me to the hospital. You know, they're taking my pulse and sticking IVs in me. It was crazy, right? And then they give me a treatment. They're seeing that my breathing is not the best. They admit me. Guys, you know, I was in a hospital for 5 days. When I tell you that COVID is not a joke, it is not a joke. For all you skeptics out there that think, I don't know if it's real, it's real. It kept me in there for 5 days away from my babies. And let me tell you something, I think maybe on the second or the third day, it was the second day, I caught a real bad asthma attack. Because again, remember, it attacks the lungs. But peep this. You know why it triggered the lungs? Is because I had double pneumonia in my chest, guys. Yeah, that is nothing to be played with. So I was walking around with pneumonia, and I didn't even know it. I didn't even know that I had it in both lungs. And the doctor was like, yeah. So I'm in the hospital. I had a bad asthma attack. The nurse was trying to give me the inhaler. The inhaler's not working. I couldn't even take the inhaler to put it in my mouth. That's how bad it was. I couldn't even catch my breath. She had to make a judgment call and go rush and get a treatment. Now, let me tell you this. It's so weird, right? They really didn't want to give me a treatment in the admitted section, because you know why? There's certain protocols to it, because they would have to air out the room, and I guess that is something that they didn't want to take. So it's like it has to be something extreme for them to want to give that to you. Because when I was in the emergency part, they gave me the treatment, but that room was set up for it. That room was just right for it. But when they admit you and actually put you on the floor, it's like, we're hoping we don't have to do this. But again, the nurse had to make a judgment call. And let me tell you something. When she gave me the treatment and my body finally calmed down, my body was so exhausted. I felt the exhaustion. I had to turn off everything. I turned off the lights. The lights irritated me. I turned off the phones. I had the shades closed. It was crazy. And I was in solitude. But let me tell you what happened. I took myself there with the Lord, and I said, Father God, I know there's a purpose on my life, and I know you're going to keep me, and I know you have something greater for me. And this is what I had to tell myself in that solitude moment, because you know what? I was planning to do some things in my business. I was, and I had everything laid out. But then the attack happened. So when I was in that solitude, I said, you know what? When you come out of this, because you will come out of this, because you have a testimony and you need to share your testimony because it's powerful, because somebody else needs to know. Just because you are going through something, that does not define you. That is not your final destination. That's just your hiccup. And remember, I told you it's about, what you do in those moments. I could have just, been negative. I could have said, oh, why me? I could have, but I chose not to. I chose to give myself life, because we all know there is life and death in the tongue. So I fed myself. I fed myself the word, because I know God is the truth and the truth is God. And I knew that there was more life to me. So as I'm there in that solitude moment and I'm saying to God, please keep me, God. I know you have something better for me. And the whole day, I had to spend by myself, because it's me and him. I didn't want nobody in my room. I didn't want to speak to nobody. First of all, here's the crazy part. I could barely breathe to speak on the phone. Yes, when people call me, you can't get offended, because it was so hard to breathe. I'm like, text me. But at that moment, too, you don't even feel like texting, because you're so weak. And you just want to be left alone, and you need your strength back. And that's what I did for myself in that moment, because sometimes we have to stay away from all the electronic devices and stuff like that. We understand people care for you, but if, you got my hospital number and they said she's still alive, she's still alive. And that was my case, everyone. So again, I had that alone time with the Lord, that solitude moment, and just mapping out everything that I need to do, because there was more. I'm like, I have children, I want to do more for my children. I have stuff that I want to leave to them, and even though I had certain things in place, I needed more things in order. So I'm like, you know what, when I come out of this, I have to make sure that I get on the ball and fulfill the needs for everything else. So guess what? God never denies you. As you see, there was a delay. But I am here in front of you today telling you about my truth and letting you know, just because the world is going on with this COVID, it doesn't mean I have to stop you. You can find a way to activate yourself in that moment, or put yourself in position, because let me tell you something. If you're truly paying attention, there's another wave coming. A wave, what's that wave? The wave where there's an opportunity. That ride, you ever feel like you missed a ride? Like back in the days, for example, in the 90s, right? And this is when I was in middle school. I'm telling my age, guys. The internet was really booming. AOL was really booming. Can you imagine those people at that time that positioned themselves where they are now? And that's the same opportunity here. And not just that, as you can see, the technology is so advanced now, we don't even have to be in person. What happened when the doctors knew that the COVID was here and they didn't have to really see you in person? What they do? On the screen. And you want to know what's so funny? It takes me back to the Jetson days. It's so serious. What projected in the Jetsons is happening now. When did the Jetsons come out? Over 50 something years ago. And you know, there's a time and place for everything, and this is the timing. And I hope you are paying attention. I hope you are woke, because there is money to be made in this season and in this timing. And guess what, guys? I told you I got the office space. Guess what Lady K does? Lady K is into financial services. Yes, here at Lady K Enterprises, we help family and business meet their family needs. So guess what? You want to start a business? We can help. Guess what? You need to get your LLC, or you need to get your business incorporated? We can help. Guess what? You got questions about taxes? Guess what? We can help. It all starts here. Position yourself for this next wave. And I'm telling you this because I'm excited, because I just felt like I had another chance to share my story, another chance to let you know that it is possible and that you can make the moves that you want to make. So guys, I enjoyed this first episode with you. Please tune in next Wednesday. I got some more jewels and juice stuff that I've been through. Oh my God, let me tell you, I am so happy that I do not look like what I've been through, guys. Okay? If I've been like what I've been through, shoot, y'all be like, oh Jesus, Lady Kate, turn the camera off, baby. Turn the camera off. No, but again, it is a pleasure that I'm able to be here with you guys. You guys can see my face. I'm happy that you're watching me, you're tuning in. And please come back next Wednesday, because I got some more juice to tell you. Oh my gosh, relationships, babies falling out the window and all of that stuff. You're like, what, Lady Kate? Yes. Next week. So I see you guys next Wednesday here at 2 p.m. Lady K.